I don't want her involved in this. Okay.
It made contact and shattered.
At some point, Chris locates what's called a dry bag.
Law enforcement had considered Laundrie the only person of interest in the murder of his fiancée, Gabby Petito.
On reference to a missing 4-year-old, the parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk, came home, now they can't find her. They've been yelling for her. She's been gone for about 10 minutes now.
Turn it over to another agency. Let's get some help.
Hello? It's gone. Everybody's going home.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here for another ATS News live stream. We are going over the death investigation for Kielyrodni. We still haven't gotten any preliminary information from the sheriff's office. The only update that we have, which I'm actually happy to share this update, is Jagger has been cleared. So the ex-boyfriend Jagger has officially been cleared by the sheriff's department. They've been very silent, but they gave the Sun newspaper a little bit of information in regards to things that they're doing behind the scenes as far as clearing people. A little bit of information in regards to things that they're doing behind the. Sorry, guys. All right, so let me just share my screen. Web sleuths have been circulating rumors of foul play for weeks since her death, and have been speculating her boyfriend, Jagger Westfall, could have been involved. Nevada County sheriffs told the U.S. Sun on Tuesday early in the investigation, our detectives made contact with Jagger Westfall. After a detailed interview, he was ruled out as a person of interest. So we were, happy to hear that. But at the same time, people were still speculative about if it was accurate information. So Criminality, Teresa over there, she used to be on Unmasked. She has her own channel. If you haven't subscribed, there it is right there. Look it up, and I highly recommend. She pretty much messaged the sheriff's department. Hello, I work with a podcast that is covering Kielyrodni's case. We are reaching out to verify that you gave a statement to the Sun regarding Jagger Westfall being cleared as a person of interest in the Kielyrodni case. Can you confirm or deny that the statement was given by your agency and that it is an accurate statement? To which they responded to Teresa with, thank you for your message. We'll respond. Oh, it's just an automatic one. Sorry, guys, hang on. But yeah, they did answer her. Yes, the statement is correct. So we have confirmation from the sheriff's department. And so that's good news. I know that it's not, the preliminary autopsy or cause and manner of death or other things that we want to know. But you know what? I don't know how you guys feel, but just knowing 100% that Jagger is not on our radar is good enough for me. And it's definitely helped my process out a little bit. He never really was super on my radar, and you can go in back live streams and see, we do kind of cross-examine him a little bit, but I don't know. I just never got the feeling like he was involved. Not like other people surrounding the case give me that feeling. But let me just look at chat because I just realized I need to say good morning to you guys and thank you for being here. Robert, Ryan, thank you. Rebecca, it's good to see you from across the pond. Nicole, LTL, good to see you too. So glad you guys are here. Brookie Blues Clues, allegedly with Brittany, good to see you. So no, Dana, that's not the same agency that cleared the lake. When she was a missing person, Nevada County wasn't the lead investigators. So when they cleared that lake, quote unquote, cleared it, that was not the same agency. Yeah, it's been a little confusing in this case because this case has been kind of handed around, and we have seen different law enforcement agencies, participating in this. So I never thought Jagger was involved way early on. I had heard he had an alibi for the time period of a party 4 hours away. Yeah, we heard that, and it's just, people lie about alibis too. So that was why a lot of people were like, I don't know, he's the ex-boyfriend. And then it was the whole, oh, it's a boyfriend. No, I'm the ex-boyfriend. So it was like, is he just saying he's the ex-boyfriend to create a little bit of distance between him and the victim? Like, it was just very questionable, but now we know. So that's great. That is great. And today I just want to go through pretty much the speculation that the 11:30 text message to mother asking if she could stay later. I'm really torn on that text message. Before we get started, I'd like to see what chat is feeling. So you guys are all aware of what I'm talking about. Let me just visuals. Yeah, he did give 2 alibis. That was, yeah, you're right. It was something about fishing, and then there was one about another party, and then some article came out saying that he was actually at the party Kiely was at. So there was 3 different stories. So it was good that we got that all ironed out. And hello, Christy B. Good to see you. So yeah. All right, guys. So you're all aware of the 11:30 text message that Kiely sent to her mother, and she was requesting for more time. She said that she would be home around 12:30. Can I ask you guys actually? So I've heard 2 things. I've heard that Kiely was supposed to leave at 12:15 and then she'd be home at 12:30. Does that sound accurate to you guys? Like she asked for the curfew to be she asked the curfew to be extended to 12:30, but I feel like I had heard out there that she planned to leave at 12:15, and then by the time she got home it'd be like 12:30ish. Does that sound right to you guys? Just want to make sure that I'm hearing these things, because I heard 12:15 at one point, and then I'm seeing 12:30 on a written timeline. So all I want to do is go through, because of course, now that we've got Jagger cleared and that's not a rumor, another rumor pops up, right? So there's a rumor right now that Jane Doe 2, which was a video put out by Chronicles of Olivia, she is hiding the identity of herself. She's a party goer, and she's seen Kiely around 1 a.m. We are referring to her as Jane Doe 2, and allegedly, this is a rumor, and I have not seen any proof. You guys let me know. Somebody's saying that Elsa is Jane Doe 2. Have you guys heard that rumor? And have you seen any proof of the fact that Elsa is Jane Doe 2? Because I really need to know. Okay, I think she was leaving at 12:15 and would get home around 12:45. All right, well, this article that has like the timeline pretty much is saying that she asked for the extension to be 12:30. So, I mean, I guess that we'll just have to go with that for right now. It's kind of in between all the 12:15, 12:45 talk anyway. So, okay, people are saying, okay, yeah. I know people are under the belief that it's Elsa. I'm wondering if anyone has seen direct proof, screenshots, receipts, not just hearsay, rumors. I heard it was Sammy. I heard it was Olivia making it up. I heard that too. I hope that's not the case, but I did hear that. No, but the story matches Elsa, so it would make sense that that's who it would be, right? I think people are doing a little bit of deduction and realizing like this has to be Elsa. Other people haven't really heard it. The call made at 12:30 a.m. and Kiely said, "See you in 45 minutes," which would make the timeline 11:30. I see what You accidentally put 12:30. Yeah. They're hiding the identity. Right. No receipts. That's a problem. No proof, but that's what's going around. Okay, so now that we're on the same page of, there's no proof, but that's what's going around, I have a problem with this. So I have a problem, and this is what this live stream pretty much is about. I have a problem if that is Elsa, because Elsa has changed her time slot of when she saw Kiely 3 times. So if Jane Doe 2 is saying 1 a.m., well, then Elsa has already said 12 to the news media, and then she says 12:30 to Amanda S. Vita when Amanda S. Vita asked her on social media. And now if she's Jane Doe 2, she's saying 1 a.m. That's just a red flag to me when people change their stories. It's a red flag to me when I find out that Elsa's really good friends with Sammy. It's a red flag to me when I find out that Elsa is saying that the news misquoted her. I mean, it's just very convenient, right? Like, let me just go through this. The thing about why I'm tying this Elsa stuff into the 11:30 text is if the only thing that has kept me thinking that 11:30 text message was Kiely is the fact that people saw her, including Elsa, around midnight. And then law enforcement said that her friends saw her around midnight saying she wanted to go home. So, do you guys understand where I'm going? Let me just explain a little bit better. So, I believed that Kiely sent that 11:30 text message to her mom. But now that Elsa, if she's Jane Doe 2, has changed her story 3 times, is she the only person who is telling everybody, including law enforcement, I want to know, is she the only one that supposedly seen her after midnight? Because it's too close to the text message to the mom. So all this time changing and all this sketchiness of who saw her at the party, it's too close to the 11:30 text message. And now I have to wonder, did something happen before 11:30 and they have her phone and they take her phone and they're trying to buy themselves more time, and they text Kiely's mother and they say, can I please stay later? Blah, blah, blah. Love you too. Bye. And then what do you know? The phone gets shut off right when Kiely's supposed to be home. Like, I'm sorry, but this is just too much. It's too much right now. And if you guys could just, thank you so much. Take a minute to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't. The linguistics match Sammy's speech articulation in the recording of Elsa. We're going to listen to the recording of, I'm going to call her Jane Doe 2 because we have no proof that that's Elsa. But it sounds like it really could be because, like you said, her story is just a parrot of Sammy's story. And if Elsa and Sammy are close friends, and Elsa was put out there as the person who saw Kiely around midnight and later than midnight at the party, that's concerning to me. That's very concerning to me. Oh, good, Rebecca. I'm so glad you're starting your new job, and good luck there. We all send you well wishes for sure. No, I didn't listen to them break it down, but we're going to break it down. So I hope you don't mind. We'll do that a little bit this morning too. All right. So another reason why I'm concerned that something happened to Kiely early on is this on the screen right now. One of the only things that's kind of placing her there, besides her phone ping being there and eyewitnesses having Kiely there, it's this video that the sheriff's office says that they have, and they see Kiely in the video early on in the evening, and she's wearing that Odd Future sweatshirt. So early on in the evening, to me, I mean, that's kind of a vague statement, but I'm imagining it as being before the text message went out to mother at 11:30. Good morning, Jess. Good to see you. Hi, Carolina. Good to see you. So we're just going to go through like a little bit of a timeline leading up to Elsa. So here's the other thing. So 11:30, Lindsay, the mother, gave Kiely permission to attend a party at Prosser Campground. She received a text from her daughter asking her curfew to be extended to 12:30 a.m. So I don't know, guys, because how do you know when you're a mom if the person texting you is your child when it's a text message? And I'm not trying to throw shade or anything like that. I'm just saying it's always been all on all of our minds that it's very possible that this text message wasn't from Kiely. And like I said, the only thing that kind of kept me in the realm of it was Kiely is because we have people who are like, yeah, like you see the next bullet, 12 a.m., midnight. Elsa, who was at the party, saw Kiely around 12 a.m. So Elsa, we end up finding out, is very good friends with Sammy. I mean, is it past the realm of possibilities that Elsa is just saying things to help Sammy out? Like, do you guys see that? And I agree, it's definitely a good idea to video chat your child. Especially if they have a vehicle out with them, just check their state of mind, like give them a call. They call you or they text you, can I stay later? Like that, to me, I'd be calling immediately before I even respond in a text. I'd be like, hi, we had an agreement. No, you're supposed to be home at 11:30. Sorry, dear. I'll see you soon. Love you. Bye. Like that's the end of the conversation. Obviously we all do things a little differently. Obviously hindsight is 2020, but guys, we just cannot rely on the fact that Kiely's mother, she has even spoken out about this text message and she's said that she believed it was her daughter. Well, I mean, you can't be 100% in my opinion on that. Thank you, sweet Baya. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. And actually, you just reminded me, my last live stream, I was all over the place. Duty Ron popped up, and I get all flustered when it's not like a organized, like planned panel or guest. So I was just all over the place, and people were joining my membership and sending super chats, and I never like pulled them up and like thanked you guys. So if anyone joined the channel or sent super chats last live stream and I didn't thank you, I'm so sorry. But thank you so much. And again, if you guys can just like the stream and subscribe, that's a free way to support our channel here. So good morning, Florida Bass Fishing. But who knows someone else's phone code to get in and text, right? You're right. That's true. I mean, it would definitely take a little bit of nefarious behavior pretty much to get into somebody else's phone. But how desperate are they? And what kind of desperate situation would prompt them to maybe try to find a way to get in her phone? You know what I mean? Good morning, Ellie79. It's good to see you. And Melmac, good to see you. The other thing that is just kind of making me feel uneasy about this 11:30 text is the fact that her phone is shut off completely at 12:33, like the time that she's supposed to be home. You know what I mean? Like 12:33 rolls around. What if Kiely's mom wasn't asleep? Like she slept until 8 a.m. We know that, but let's say that she was waiting up. 12:30 comes around. I'm calling my kid. Where are you? You know what I mean? I told you you could stay longer. Where are you? I'd be freaking out. But oddly enough, Kiely's phone is shut off right at the time that she's supposed to be home, right at the time a woke parent would be calling, So to me, that's way too coincidental. Like the time that her phone is shut off is the time that, you know, she's supposed to be home. I don't like that. It's just way too perfect as far as coincidence. Are you guys on the same page as me? Like as far as like the phone being shut off the same time that she's supposed to be home? So the thing too is she gets reported missing after they go to the Starbucks at 9 a.m. and they're waiting for her because they were supposed to meet there to go camping. She never shows up. She's reported missing by 10 a.m. Okay. So you have to think about roadside assistance information. He said that that was around 11 noon. So she's already been reported missing when that roadside assistant thing takes place over in Boca, you know, and they went and they checked the campground that she was at. They went to the Prosser campground before she called the cops. So they checked it out, didn't see her there, didn't see her car there, and then they immediately call and place a missing person report. So, you know, they didn't waste any time, but at the same time, it's so strange that roadside assistant allegedly is having these eyewitness sightings after she's already been reported missing. It's definitely possible for sure because it's a different area. So let's get back to this whole Elsa. So you guys see here how it does say Elsa saw her around midnight, right? So here's a quote we have from Sammy. Last time I saw Kiely was around 12:25 in the morning of the party. I was leaving and I gave her a hug, telling her I loved her and goodbye for her to get home safe and be safe. She's like changed that little, like, have you guys noticed that? Sammy, when she speaks about the last time she spoke with her right there before leaving her at the party, she's changed it like slightly a few times. Like one time, I don't even think she says, I said I love her and goodbye and for her to get home safe or be safe. Like she's, I don't know. That's another thing. But regardless, now we have Sammy, 12:25, seeing Kiely at the party. And she's saying her goodbyes to her. So Elsa, who's friends with Sammy, you know, these two girls so far are the only ones that are coming out saying, I saw her at the party after midnight. You know, how can we rely on these two girls when we've seen both of their stories change? That's the problem. Both of their stories have changed slightly. Here's Elsa. This is the thing that I just was like really puzzled by. So remember when Sammy talks to us about the Be Real app and you only have a few times a day to post, and when you post, blah, 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 and she just goes on and on about it. You know, I'm looking at this and I'm like, how strange is it that Elsa decides to post her Be Real the day that Kiely is reported missing at 1:19 p.m. That to me is strange. Like, I know that you only have a certain amount of time to post your Be Real, but Elsa, this is the only picture that this could possibly be at Prosser Campground. I don't know where this is. Does anyone else know where the location of this picture is? But she posts it just hours after Kiely is reported missing on the 6th. I find that weird. I find that very weird. Do you guys find it weird? Yeah, 65 likes and almost 300 in here, Florida Bass Fishing. Thank you. Hit that like button, guys. It's free. Thank you so much, Robert Ryan, ATS News. You're on point. Great job. That means a lot to me coming from you, and I really appreciate all your support. Thank you so much. So everyone's sort of weirded out that she posted that like 3 hours after she was reported missing. It could mean nothing. Other people don't think it's too weird. Hello, Without Borders. I don't know. I thought it was sort of strange. Let me just sip my coffee, guys. 1 second. Now, just to highlight it again, it does say, the bullet point says 12 a.m. Then as it goes on, it says around 12 a.m. So I'm going to give Elsa the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, when she speaks to Amanda Esvita, and here this is social media, check out Amanda Esvita's channel if you haven't already. She's got some good web sleuthing over there, and she works behind the scenes with myself and a few other creators in our little group chats. But she's definitely done her little research and reached out to Elsa herself and found you after reading an article where you were named as the only person to confirm Kiely was at Prosser. She for sure was. Yes, I spoke to her around 12:30. What article? So here, as you know, changed the time slightly. So we have midnight. She told that news article. Here she's saying 12:30. They end up
Shortly after midnight.
They ended up speaking a little bit longer, but I don't have the thread. All she ended up telling Amanda was that the media misquoted her, right? Which, we know happens. We know that happens. However, when I did that timeline and I used that article to source, everything that article was saying was accurate. There wasn't anything else that was a little bit off, like miscommunication, nothing like that. So for Elsa to claim that they misquoted her, I find that very strange because nothing else in that article was misquoted or inaccurate. Thank you so much, Tom N., for the super chat, and good morning to you. Glad to have you here. So, Christy B., do you know where... Sorry, guys, I'm still getting over COVID, so I'm a little bit nasally, but excuse me. Elsa once said the party ended at 12:20. Okay, do you know where she said that? Because I've never seen that, but I'd love to see that. So,
Shortly after midnight.
Now I want to play this little clip. And I want to know, this is obviously from early on. This is when she was a missing person because it has the sheriff's department handling it that now handed the case over to Nevada. So that was when she was a missing person. I want to know who the friends are that she's referring to in that voice clip. And she says, Kiely told friends that she wanted to go home around shortly after midnight. Who are these friends? Because if it's Sammy, that doesn't make sense because Sammy left her there at 12:25 and said goodbye and have a good time, blah, 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 be safe. And if it's Elsa, that's interesting because they say friends as in plural and Elsa's friends with Sammy. So can we trust it? So help me figure this out, guys. Who are these friends that seen Kiely at the party saying she wanted to go home?
Shortly after midnight, she had verbally communicated to her friends that she was wanting to go home.
Detectives say the last time her cell phone pinged was 33 minutes past midnight.
So she's verbally communicating to her friends, plural. And again, Kate wasn't there. Meg's left. Who are these friends? I need to know, guys. Is it Sammy and Elsa? Because that's concerning. But I don't think it is Sammy because Sammy left her at 12:25 and never once has Sammy ever said she was expressing she wanted to go home.
Shortly after midnight, she had verbally communicated to her friends that she was wanting to go home.
Detectives say the last time her cell phone pinged was 33 minutes past midnight.
Okay, Christy B., I'm reading your comment. I would have to see proof of that because sadly, I hate to say it, but that creator's a little bit wrong in information at times. So I don't really rely on that channel per se. I'm sorry to throw shade, but I need channels that give accurate information to source. So anyway, so who was the friends that were saying that she needed to go? I don't know. And is it Elsa? Now, this here, I want you guys to help me figure it out, walk it through, whatever. Because, yeah.
Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
That's pretty much how I'm feeling with this wording on the screen. I need you guys to talk to me like I'm 5 years old here.
Is there any way?
Hold on, we're not skipping to that yet. So, here's the other thing that I'm like, was that her who texted 11:30? Miss Rodni Neiman said that their family members share cell phone location data, and so she checked her daughter's phone. The last location data was at the campground where the party took place at 12:03 a.m. She has since learned that Snapchat data shows her cell phone at the same location at around 12:30 a.m. So I'm confused because, and again, I asked my fiance who goes to school for computer science, and of course he gives me the answer that I'm just like, really? Can he give me something better? He pretty much says like, well, it's dependent on the data and things bouncing back to their server, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. So I'm just going to ask you guys, and you guys can help me. How is the location setting that they share? So they share cell phone location, and that can be Find My iPhone, that can be Life 360, or any other app where you share your family's like location with each other for like safety reasons and all that. How is the cell phone information having her at 12:03, like the location, but then it says that Snapchat had her location, 30 minutes later? And it was explained to me that maybe it bounces off the server every 10 minutes and then it updates. I was told there's just a bunch of different variables that can be included. I'm wondering, is it possible that somebody was in her phone and turned off the cell phone location data? And you guys know that Snapchat and other apps will ask you, do you want your location to be shared all the time, only when you're on the app, or never? So I'm just wondering why one location app has her at 12:03 and then the other one has her later. You would think that the location app would still have had her being located at the campground at 12:30 like the Snapchat does. But I don't know, that there's just a different variables, I guess, that could take place. I do wonder if maybe somebody knew that she shares her location with her family, so they like turn that app off. I don't know. I think it's very like speculative, obviously, but I do find it interesting that the location app showed her last area at the campground around midnight, 12:03, and then Snapchat had her a little bit later at 12:30. And we do know that when the phone pinged at 12:33 and it's shut off, that was also at the campground. So we have 3 different times where it has her phone. 12:03, 12:30, and then the 12:33 ping where her phone is just done. It's shut off according to law enforcement. So I wonder if, okay, someone's saying her mom said 360 app was turned off. Do we have the interview where she says that? Because I'd like to hear that for sure. Either way, I definitely think that that's possible. And if they had the phone, they would know for sure. But I find that interesting. And if her Life 360 app was shut off, then that leads me even more to think that somebody was in her phone, possibly posing as her, or just, messing around with her phone. I just got to grab more coffee. 1 second, guys. Okay. Tom N., thank you for the super chat. And I will ask that question right now because he's right next to me. I've asked him before, and it's been sort of an answer of, well, it depends. But ask your husband if data can be recovered on a phone underwater that long. He's pretty much saying like he has no idea. It's dependent on a lot of variables. Was the electronic on? Was the battery on or off? How deep was the water? Is it salt water? Is it fresh water? We know that it's fresh water. Hi, Mike. Good to see you. It just seems like it's going to be very dependent on who's taking it out of the water and what techniques they're using to kind of dry it out and get to it. Hopefully the FBI has good techniques for that. And yeah, we don't even know if it was underwater. That's a good point. And speaking of phone,
is there any way to track her phone?
Her phone has actually been turned off shortly after 12:30 a.m. Saturday morning, and it has been off this whole time.
So here, we've played this before. This was an early on presser when she was still missing. It seems like early on they were under the impression that it was shut off. And right, Robert Ryan, it depends, but it's possible for sure. So that stands out to me, and it has for a few weeks now, that they're under the impression that it was shut off. The other thing I want to explain with you guys is the Life 360 app, or the location app that they were just referring to, where it said that it was last at 12:03 at the campground. Those apps show your family members' battery life on their phone. And we've talked about this before, that maybe that's why they're certain in this press conference that the phone was turned off, because Kiely's mother could have seen her battery life and seen that, it wasn't dead. So it didn't get shut off because it died. But that, again, is just speculation. But also, I mean, the lady's words says it was shut off.
Is there any way to track her phone?
Her phone has actually been turned off shortly after 12:30 a.m. Saturday morning, and it has been off this whole time. Mm-hmm.
So they might just have reason to believe
Any
that.
more questions?
Asked her to wake. At that moment, it was shut off manually by somebody, which obviously makes me wonder if somebody else was in her phone at 11:30 texting the mother, then they turn off Light 360. And then once they realize, like, oh crap, it's 12:30, she's supposed to be rolling in at home right now, let's turn off her phone. Like just the time that her phone is shut off, 12:33, it's just way too much of a coincidence that it's the exact time that Kiely was supposed to be home. I'm not, for a long time, people thought, well, it probably shut off because it hit the water and she was in the water at that point. I'm not really thinking that. I don't think that the phone shut off because of water. I think it really was manually shut off. But that's just my opinion. And thank you so much, Blues Clues. Brookie, appreciate you. Thanks for the super sticker. Okay, so apparently Elsa is called a Harsh Reality YouTube channel, and it is her, the Jane Doe too. So why did she decide to cover her voice and her name? And then she comes out and says, oh yeah, actually it is me. Oh gosh. That's why I'm like, these teens, they don't know what they're doing. Like, that's why I feel like they're whatever, if there's nefarious stuff involved, they're going to get caught because they're just not that smart.
Me up when she got home, like she always does, and she said, okay, and thanks, Mama, love you. And that's the last I ever heard from her. Stories about the beginning of the night and the middle of the night, but we don't.
Yes, phones do ping when they're shut off if their battery life is, if you have battery. If you don't have battery, if your phone's shut off, even after 24 hours, it's not going to ping. But
There are no stories about her leaving, when she left, or who she left with. There's no stories of her car leaving.
Okay, so that was the end of the little clips I wanted to play for you guys. Yeah, apps will ping. You're right, Robert Ryan. The ping thing is just very, people use it too loosely, the term. It's dependent on a lot of things. But yes, apps will be running and they can ping while your phone is, as long as you have battery life. But now I want to switch to Jane Doe 2, and we're going to listen to that. I haven't listened to it with you guys, so it's going to be a live reaction. I've only seen little clips of it when CDT played it on her channel. Now, the whole thing is, if this Jane Doe 2 is Elsa, which it seems like the rumor is it is, I need to see proof. Does Harsh Reality have proof, or is it just another channel saying it? Does anyone know in chat? Because I haven't watched it and I don't want to waste my time unless there's direct proof. Yeah, they'll definitely be able to tell if it was hard shut off or if it's broken or whatever, if it was damaged like that for sure. So here's the thing. If this is Elsa, then everyone needs to know she's changed her story 3 times. We've talked about this. Is that 11:30 text message and also staging of, Kiely? That wasn't Kiely possibly, which means that something bad happened to Kiely before it was even 11:30. Now, the other question is the friends that reported that Kiely was telling them shortly after midnight that she wanted to go home. Are those friends Sammy and Elsa? We need to know, because it seems like everyone who has seen Kiely after 11:30, and again, that sweatshirt quote, they said it was early on in the evening. It doesn't really give us a time frame, but I'm thinking that Kiely wasn't even at the party around midnight. Something might have happened to her, but Sammy and Elsa are out there parroting the same story that, yeah, make sure you let them know you saw them around midnight. And then that has slowly gotten pushed further and further away from the time slot that something happened. So if something happened before the text message gets to the mother, then Elsa's saying, yep, it was around midnight. And then she tells Amanda Acevedo, nope, it was 12:30. They misquoted me. And then now, if she's Jane Doe 2, she's telling all of us again that it was 1 a.m. That's just not sitting well with the storyline. You shouldn't be changing your story that much. So did she send that 11:30 text message to her own mother, or is somebody else on her phone, and are other people pretending that they'd seen her after that point when really no one saw her after that point?
I don't believe that this could have been a drunk accident. She was severely intoxicated. I didn't ever see her with Sammy.
That part I don't understand. I don't think that this was a drunk accident. And then it follows up with, she was intoxicated. So then why don't you think it was a drunk accident? That already, I'm like, what?
I don't believe that this could have been a drunk accident. She was severely intoxicated. I didn't ever see her with Sammy. She did mention having arrived.
These party goers are the key to determine what happened.
Over 200 people were at the party, and this is the second party goer that has come forward to tell me their side of the story. Let's name this second party goer Jane Doe number 2. My deepest condolences to Kiely's family.
I'd also like to add something that we spoke about Tuesday when this first came out. Was we had already had other information coming into us that stated that Kiely was seen around 1 a.m. So that to me wasn't really new information, but I do want to know, if Elsa has changed her story 3 times, why?
And friends. Due to privacy reasons, their voice has been altered and their name will remain anonymous.
There were around
will remain anonymous for a few days. Again, I really want to see if this really is 100% proof that this is Elsa. But yeah, that was the other red flag, Sweet Baya. Thank you for pointing that out. Never saw her with Sammy. What? Because we have Sammy saying numerous times, people saw us together. I don't understand. It's just parroting Sammy's, whatchamacallit, narrative.
200 people. It's not very usual to see this at a party, especially at Sanctuary, because the road is so rough. People hate partying out there. I never saw anyone sketchy show up. I never noticed anyone sketchy while I was there.
So the road is so, rocky and treacherous that nobody likes to party out there. So that, for those who think that it was an accident, supposedly the roads are so rocky back there. So how would she not have known that? I don't know. It's just interesting. And then she says that she never saw Jagger there. Hang on, let me rewind 1 second.
Especially at Sanctuary, because the road is so rough. People hate partying out there. I never saw anyone sketchy show up.
I never saw anyone sketchy show up. But remember, in the beginning, when she was a missing person, Sammy and Megs were all like, yeah, there was a bunch of older people that we didn't know, and there was a bunch of drugs there that we normally don't have at our parties. But this girl is saying that she didn't notice anybody sketchy.
I never noticed anyone sketchy while I was there. I definitely never saw Jagger there. I don't think he was there at all. When I spoke to Kiely, she was intoxicated, but she seemed happy. There was nobody there in wet clothes. They would have frozen so badly. It was raining all day that day. It was cold out.
And remember, there was a rumor that Sammy was seen with wet clothes on. And that was always a rumor anyways. We never had direct proof of that. But here, if this is Elsa, she's really backing up the theory that, like, no, don't worry. No one was no one had wet clothes. They would have froze to death. Just so dramatic. They would have froze to death.
I don't know about the shrooms. I don't smoke or trip on substances, so I don't really look for them. I do believe she was intoxicated before 11. The girls in the
So she was intoxicated, according to this Jane Doe 2, before 11. And then we have Kiely's mother saying that she got the text message at 11:30, and she didn't think that it was anybody else but Kiely. But that's just impossible to know for sure. And it's interesting that she's so intoxicated around 11, but yet she's able to text her mom supposedly okay in an okay manner, which makes me think, like, okay, if she really was severely intoxicated around 11, then that makes me think even more that that wasn't her who sent the 11:30 text, because how could she have managed to text her mother without, like, misspelling or all that? I mean, I would love to see the exact text message just to see, like, maybe there was a word or letter out of place, but according to her mom, it was nothing that stood out as unusual. But I don't know. This girl is saying around 11 she's intoxicated. So what do you know? How convenient. Before the text message is even put out, this witness is saying, like, yes, I saw Kiely and she was very drunk around 11. I don't know. It seems like it could be way too convenient, way too much of fitting into like a Sammy type story. Oh, yeah. Rebecca, wet because they peed on themselves. I mean, they did say they popped a squat, and it's not the easiest thing to pee outside as a female. Sammy then changed his mind because Kiely was intoxicated, according to Sammy. Yeah. She was looking for other rides, which is very strange. And Tom, thank you again for the super chat. This kid seemed to have so much potential. If these people took this away from her in this world, that would be a great travesty. I agree. It definitely already is. I don't know. It definitely is a tragedy already. But if people are involved, they need to suffer the consequences. I agree. And I thought that too. Somebody said that somebody had said previously that it was oh yeah, Allison, if it was raining, wouldn't their clothes be wet? Good point. Somebody says something about it was warm that night. Yeah, Christy, first time I'm hearing that too. I swear we checked the rain forecast and it didn't rain that night. I swear people have checked. We need to go check again. All right, continuing on.
The black and white photo were in Reno, not Prosser, and I know this for sure because I'm friends with the one that took the photo. I don't know about Sammy and Kiely's relationship. I never saw Kiely fight anyone, but the fight that was on video was a playful fight. I know those boys. I didn't see Kiely drink or smoke, but she did smell strongly of alcohol and was having a hard time walking straight, and her speaking was slow. I don't believe that this could have been a drunk accident, honestly. Sanctuary Road can be impossible to drive on, especially with how intoxicated she seemed when I talked to her. Just a week before, a kid had high-centered his truck on the road, so it's not an easy one to navigate, like even sober. And I don't know anything going on between Kate and Jagger. I tend to stay out of people's personal relationships just because it isn't my business. I had personally seen Kiely around that night, but I also didn't ever see her with Sammy. And
I just don't get why she's got to reiterate twice already in 14-minute video. 2.5 minutes in, she's already had to say twice, I didn't ever see her with Sammy. I don't understand why that, like, I don't know. Do you guys find that strange? I thought that they were together all night and that people had seen them together.
And Sammy didn't even actually host the party. It was 3 boys from the area, one from Incline, one North Tahoe, and one Truckee. And the Truckee boy actually had work that night, so I don't think he was there. I never ended up seeing him. I'm from Truckee, I know this boy well, but I don't remember seeing him.
And the other thing is, like, why have you guys noticed that the boys at Truckee and at this party are being protected, like, heavily? We never have anybody name drop any of these boys. Only Jagger. I know Jagger wasn't there. Jagger wasn't there. Jagger lives 4 hours away. Jagger. Okay, but what about all these other guys? You know, we had the first narrative from these kids coming out that there was older guys there that they didn't know, and they were forcibly making them take bong rips without their boyfriends present. Why are they not name dropping these boys? Like when Sammy's like, we went to her car to drink and stuff. She mentions other people in the car, but never name drops them. Like, I just don't understand. Like, why are they being protective? Like, I feel like, I don't know. I'm really thinking like the people that are involved, there's only like 2 or 3 of them, and they don't have any reason to bring up anyone else's name because they know that if they point the finger wrongfully somewhere, that it's just going to come back to them, you know? And they're all locals with each other. And those who are involved, I mean, the walls are closing in on them. So the fact that they still haven't like pointed fingers at other guys in this scenario is questionable to me. Like, it's like, it makes me think that they know for a fact that like there's no one else to really point the finger at. They've pointed fingers at creepy older guys who are, you know, forcing them to do bong rips and stuff. But like, I just don't understand. It's blatant to me that it's just, they have no one to blame. and they're running out of people to blame pretty much.
When I spoke to Kiely that night, she was severely intoxicated. Like, she had been stumbling, her speech was slurring, but I also don't know her well, so I don't know her normal behavior. I'd only seen her around and maybe spoken to her once or twice at things like
So I don't know her well, so I don't know her normal behavior. But earlier she said she was extremely intoxicated, but she seemed happy. How would you know, like, how she's, or what level of happiness or all that? Like, if, and then later on in this, you're saying, like, but I don't know her well. I don't know. It's just very strange. It's like she really doesn't have much information to give us. Everything that's been said so far, we already knew. But yet, why did she feel the need to reach out to Chronicles of Olivia for all this? What, to just change her timeline to 1 a.m. if this is Elsa?
parties. Other than that, I never really saw her. She did go to a different school than me. She did mention having a ride, but she was alone and it was dark when I talked to her. People have also commented about.
She just got done saying she doesn't know her well, blah, blah, blah. But then now she's saying she did. Hold on. Let me just rewind that. Something about her getting a ride. Hold on.
Like, parties. Other than that, I never really saw her. She did go to a different school than me. She did mention having a ride, but she was alone and it was dark when I talked to her.
She did mention having a ride, but she was alone. She just said she barely knows this girl. Why would Kiely be there, like, speaking to her, like, oh, I have a ride, I'm alone? It just doesn't, it's just very weird. Yes, the voice is covered over. I hear that. Totally agree, Amber. They spun a small collection of stories, probably meant to divert attention from the wrongdoers. I figure DUI, Kiely as a passenger is trouble. Plus, selling liquor to underagers is bad. Yeah, there's definitely that aspect of where did this come from. A lot of people aren't really believing this either. I just want to know, if this is Elsa, why has her story changed 3 times? Hi, Chitty Chatty Meg. Good to see you. Hi, Mary. It's almost as if this is Elsa, yeah, she's lying and not making sense, but she felt the need to put her narrative out there again and to change her time slot again from when she saw her. And here's the other thing, like, remember Kiely's mother said, we have a lot of stories about her at the beginning of the party, but we don't have any stories about her leaving or the end of the party. And then what did Elsa, aka Jane Doe 2, just say here? She had her ride, but she was alone, and by then it was dark. So did this Jane Doe 2 talk to law enforcement? Because according to the mother, which we played, should I play it again? She pretty much said, like, we don't have anything about the end of the night. She said, we only have stuff about...
And that's the last I ever heard from her. Stories about the beginning of the night and the middle of the night, but we don't really have, there are no stories about her leaving, when she left, or who she left with. There's no stories of her car leaving.
So, problem, no stories of her car leaving or her leaving or when she left. Okay. Well, then who is Jane Doe 2? And Elsa, if this is you, I mean, why? Let's hear that again.
I don't know her well, so I don't know her normal behavior. I'd only seen her around and maybe spoken to her once or twice at things like parties. Other than that, I never really saw her. She did go to a different school than me. She did mention having a ride, but she was alone and it was dark when I talked to her. People have also commented about kids not seeing things, and the moon was bright that night, but Sanctuary is under trees, and I had a hard time seeing.
So that's a problem. So now we do have a story of her leaving, and it's coming from Jane Doe 2. Tom N, thank you for the super chat. Data from this person is inconsistent AF. Agree. I just don't understand, the point of all this, because it's just contradicting everything. Go listen to the gut that tried fixing this. The other thing is, remember in the early interviews, Sammy was talking about lights that they had hung from trees, but now we have this party goer saying things were dark.
Because the generator that was running the lights had turned off or gone home earlier.
The generator had turned off or gone home. Okay, how convenient.
Personally couldn't see very much. That night, people began to show up around 9. It was a small group of people that I knew. I wasn't close with any of them, but I knew them, so I was happy they came. And I felt comfortable around them. Around 10, a huge group of people showed up. A friend of mine was leading them. She said, I don't know any of these kids, but they were all down on the road by the intersection because they had no clue where to go. So I led them to the right place. My guess is that these kids must have not been from Truckee. They were from the Tahoe region, around Incline mostly, and maybe some North Tahoe kids, because most Truckee and a lot of North Tahoe kids know where Sanctuary is because it is a popular spot for us.
So here we have her sort of, pointing fingers away from Truckee kids, and, there was other people there, Tahoe kids, so it kind of makes a little bit of the story seem like, well, maybe they had something to do with it. They're not from around there. Sort of like what Sammy did, because she was running the Instagram page and she said something on one of the posts very early on before they found Kiely's body, that they were having trouble reaching a certain group of kids and having a participation from a certain group of kids as far as like the teen to teen talks. And she was asking for more information. I don't know if it was Tahoe. It could be. I have to double check. We talked about it previously, but this person talks exactly like Sammy, very eerie. Listen closely. Thank you, Tom N. And yeah, I think everyone's sort of getting that vibe. So if generator was shut off early, and thank you again for the super chat. If the generator was shut off early, how did Sammy hear loud music in the background when she talked to Kiely? Yeah, good point. And why is this the first time we're hearing about the generator that ran the lights? I mean, lights are very important when we're talking about this was a missing person case at first, so why is nobody else saying like, well, yeah, guess what? The time she went missing was right around the time that the lights person left, and they took the generator. So we really couldn't even see anything. She could have been taken in the dead of night and we didn't know. But this is the first time we're hearing about this. Yeah, cat's meow. I agree. This whole interview is a contradiction. People don't like to party at the sanctuary because of the raid, but yet all Truckee kids knows about it and goes there. Yeah, I'm not buying 100% of this. I don't know the point of this. It seems like more propaganda for Sammy, the sketchy friend. And we do know that Sammy is very close friends with Elsa. So if this in fact is Elsa, not only has Elsa changed her time of when she saw Kiely last 3 times, but we could also have Elsa parroting a story in means to protect her friend Sammy. And maybe Elsa knows more too, so it's protecting herself. And hello, CDT, good morning. Good to see you. Sammy and this ex voice played side by side. Yeah, that'd be interesting to listen to. Yeah, protecting each other. Exactly, sweetie pie.
I noticed that a lot of people have commented that there aren't many photos and videos from that night, and it's true. A lot of kids up here don't spend their time on their phones at parties. I personally never noticed a whole lot of kids.
This is the other thing that makes no sense. Like, we just don't have our phones out at parties. You just said that there was a bunch of kids from other areas. So even if it's true that like you guys don't usually have your phones out at parties, so then everyone else in the California area also are under the same like living habits that you guys are, where you don't have your phones out at parties. It makes zero sense. I don't believe that one bit. Makes no sense. Not buying it. And yeah, this is a good question. How was there a mass exodus at 12:30 if the road had been blocked? Did they all head that way? Wouldn't Kiely follow others in their headlights? Yeah, this video says something about a road being blocked. Good morning, Amanda Svita. But yet we have people that spoke with FBI saying that there was a mass exodus at 12:30. So once again, this kind of contradicts information that is given to us outside of Sammy. You know what I mean? Like, this is just Sammy's narrative. We have all this other information that isn't sourced by Sammy, and it's just not adding up to this right here.
On their phones, other than when people were like taking B-reels or just taking random pictures. But most of the time it's like 0.5s of their friends' faces, like funny stuff like that. Not anything like crazy that actually shows the party.
And this just makes no sense. Like, how would she know what everybody's personal phone usage and activity is? Like, I know I personally don't take pictures, and they're not taking pictures of the party. How would you know? And this is another thing that's making it seem like it's Sammy or a parrot of Sammy, because Sammy is out there gathering information at these teen-to-teen stuff and wanting everyone's information and videos, and said that they had hundreds and hundreds of videos, and they have pictures of people taking videos and blah, 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 blah. So how would this person know that they don't take pictures of the party? It just makes no sense. It's just very sketchy.
Phones, other than when people were like taking B-reels or just taking random pictures. But most of the time it's like 0.5s of their friends' faces, like funny stuff like that. Not anything like crazy that actually shows the party. Like, I know I personally don't take pictures of parties in general.
And yet we have people who have already presented photos and videos of fights that are going on. So I have no idea what she's talking about. It's just making... Yes. Oh my gosh, Alicia, exactly. Took the words out of my mouth. It's just very much feeling like damage control. I agree.
Around 10:30, there were glow sticks all over the ground. That was one thing that I noticed, because
sorry for the ad, guys. Give me a like and subscribe if you haven't right now. Now's a good time.
there were glow sticks all over the ground. That was one thing that I noticed, because a boy had brought them earlier in the night, and people were like putting them on, all this stuff, but they had started to fall off people. The glow sticks I had fell off. So I was putting them in bottles and like setting the bottles places.
And then this glow stick information. Okay, just a little bit of unnecessary information. Like, who cares about the freaking glow sticks? Is anyone else there with me? Like,
Don't care.
like, really? Just added fluff. It literally is added fluff. I can't even. Extra information we don't need or care about.
A lot of kids also started to pick up the glow sticks and throw them at each other, which was making some people really mad. There's also been a lot of talk about the fight that was shown on the news from that night. You can see in the picture I'm going to send you of the invitation that was sent out that night, the background of it is...
And here we are again, looking at stuff that we've already seen for weeks now, for over a month now. This Jane Doe, or Elsa, whoever the hell this is, doesn't even present us with new... I mean, this, I guess somebody had noticed that this fight scene did seem different, but it's not the night of the party. So it's really handing us nothing. And why do they have video from another party, but they don't have video from this night? Is it because they already gave it over to law enforcement? Or is it because Sammy has already gone around and been like, make sure you delete anything from that night? I don't know.
Is a picture of a fight from earlier this year at a party, because they're very common up here. People always bring boxing gloves to parties, and friends box.
Hold on. So Amanda is saying that Elsa says Jane Doe 2 is not her. Hi, Mar R. Good to see you. Good morning. And then we have people in chat before you joined, Amanda, saying that Harsh Reality proved that it was Elsa, or that Elsa said it's her. So I don't know, guys, but regardless, whoever this is, it's definitely somebody from Sammy's little camp. I would not believe that it's like at this point, if Elsa comes on and says, nope, that's not me, I'm not believing it, unfortunately. Because now that everyone's kind of like putting this person under the radar and thinking that it's Elsa, it's like for her to come out and be like, it's not me. It's like, how are we supposed to know now? Because you changed your story twice, possibly 3 times of when you saw Kiely last. The fact that she changed it from midnight to 12:30 was already kind of like, oh, I felt uneasy about. But now that we've called this person out on changing the story 3 times, if this is Elsa, it's not going to be reliable for her to come out and be like, no, actually, it's not me. It's not me, guys. Like, okay, now I don't believe you, because now you're just covering the fact that we've uncovered that you changed your story 3 times. I don't know, guys.
Each other for fun, but it's always friends. Like, there's never any ill intention in the.
Amanda, where did she say that it wasn't her? I'm curious. Yeah, I heard that Sleuthy said it on Scott's channel, but like, I need proof. Saying that you talked to Elsa and then not showing proof. I mean, we showed Amanda Vita talking to Elsa. That was proof. Elsa changed the time from midnight to 12:30. If people are going to come out, and I mean no disrespect, but this is just how true crime works on YouTube. I don't know if Twitter's different, but when you come out and say something on YouTube, we ask for receipts. Right, everyone? I mean, that's just the way it is. So if she's coming out and saying that it's not her, I'd like to see screenshots. And even if she is saying that it's not her, at this point, I'm like, I don't believe you, because this sounds exactly like Sammy's story. But people are saying it's Mags. That still is Sammy's camp. So that would be interesting too. But I just feel like I don't understand why they would try to hide their voice and hide who they are. Like, if it's from that little camp of girls, yeah, please ask her. I know that I have one of my moderators who actually messaged her last night and asked her, but she didn't get back to her yet. So it seems as though Elsa's kind of hiding. Exactly. The problem is I don't believe any of them. Exactly. And we looked at that one interview with Sammy that was kind of being circulated because it wasn't really seen a lot. And you see the camp of girls all together. Before Sammy goes on camera to speak about her theory of abduction, all the girls are huddled together, and it's like, are they just amping each other up, like moral support? And then Sammy's the one that goes out there and says, yeah, she was abducted. It's just very, I don't know, guys.
These matches, there are always kids mediating these box fights and are there to break them up if they need to. And there's always the biggest rule during these is you're not allowed to hit the other person in the head or the face, just because we don't actually want anyone getting injured. Like, I've personally been in a boxing match with a friend just for.
And that really does sound like Sammy. I personally have been in a boxing match. What? For one, I'm sorry, guys and girls, but I don't know very many girls who want to fight. And I'm not trying to just make a generalization about females, but I mean, I've been to high school parties, college parties, weddings, blah, 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 blah. I've never seen females decide they want to fight for fun. Like, any time that there's been a fight with girls, there's obviously been an issue. And guys I've seen fight for fun when they're drunk and whatnot, that's different story, different species in a way. But it's just raises a lot of question when these girls are trying to talk like these fights are just absolutely normal. And I don't know. I find it strange. Elsa sounds like a name from the 50s. She says more about covering Sammy's butt than she does about what happened. Yeah, I agree. And if this is from the camp of the girls, Meg, Sammy, Kate, Elsa, then it's questionable because they all could be saying that they saw Kiely later than midnight, and it could all just be a lie, which goes into the question, that 11:30 text message to the mother, was that really Kiely, or did something happen before 11:30? Her phone gets taken over by whoever's there panicking, and then after the fact, they've got all these girls coming out saying like, no, I saw her around midnight. Oh no, it was 12:30. They misquoted me. Oh, well, actually it's 1 a.m. and hide my face and change my voice so that no one knows it's me. It's like, if you have information that's important and valid, you wouldn't be hiding things. So I definitely think that this is either Elsa, Kate, or Megs, definitely. And I think that they're all trying to place Kiely at this party later than it was. Like, something happened to her before midnight, I'm thinking. What if Jane Doe 2 took parts of someone else's experience and added it to their own? I mean, that definitely could be it, because this story is just all over the place.
For fun, and I didn't want to hurt her. It was just for fun. At 12:30, the crowd had shrunk a lot. I didn't know almost anyone there other than like a couple friends in my ride home. And a boy had pulled his car onto the dirt road, like the
A boy, again, no name. There's never any name given for anybody outside of Jagger. Jagger's the only name that's ever been given when it comes to boys.
main road to get in and out of Sanctuary, and there were boys yelling and screaming at each other like in an aggressive way, not like a fun way, next to the car. So pretty much anyone that was there anymore had crowded around that car because they were trying to see if they were going to fight, if they needed to break something up. But one ended up climbing on top of the car and standing on top of it.
And isn't it interesting that these kids are always, watching out for a fight to break up? It's like, I'm not buying it. Nobody looks around at a fight going on, like when you're drinking and partying, and is like, we got to go break this up. Like, people are going to stand around and watch. Like, oh, wow, oh man, look, he's really pissed. Like, I'm sorry, but the way that this person paints these teens, like, oh no, we're just very righteous and we're not going to let anybody fight each other and we got to get in the middle of it and break it up. Like, it just is like, no, that didn't happen. If somebody's drunk fighting another person, like, I am under the impression in my experience that people are going to crowd around and be like, oh boy, like, look at this. Like, it's entertainment. It's not something that anyone's going to go and get in the way of, in my opinion. Exactly. They're going to record it. And hello, Frisco Chick. Good to see you. That to me is just another, like, this is just so stupid.
While the other one got in and started playing music from it, there was a subwoofer in the back of the car and all the doors were open so you could hear it because there wasn't any music playing at that point. People were angry because there wasn't any music. Because that road was blocked by the car, no one could have driven in the direction of the Y intersection unless they had parked down there.
So is this the road that's blocked that everyone saw a mass exit leaving? That I'm not sure of. Does anyone know? Yeah, exactly. As if they're having like a little prayer circle out there. Exactly. That's not what took place. Agree.
which personally I didn't see anyone leaving at that point. And because I didn't really know anyone there anymore, I had asked my ride to take me home because I just felt kind of uneasy being there without people I knew. So I left. My ride had parked their car all the way back on the paved road, so we had to walk all the way down the dirt road to get back. While we were walking, there was a group of boys walking in the same direction as us, and my ride knew them. I can't remember why he knew them, but maybe school or something, because my ride went to a different school than me.
How convenient, her ride went to a different school than her. Candy asked if Elsa admit to being this number 2 person. I have not seen it. I've seen people say that it's her, but I've never seen proof that she said it's her. And it's just kind of what we're wondering pretty much. So she never saw her after that one time.
And at the Y intersection, my ride and I went left to the car, and the boys went right because they had parked that way. So a lot of kids had parked over by the water over there, and I'm guessing they were part of the big group of kids who.
Yeah, exactly, Lena. Everyone has a ride. No names ever given. Right.
Showed up earlier in the night that didn't know where they were going, so they parked down there and walked up when my friend walked up when she showed them how. But most of the cars were up at the actual sanctuary. So yeah, a lot of cars were actually parked up at sanctuary because it's really common for kids to camp out at these parties, especially if they don't have DDs and they don't want to drive home intoxicated. They'll camp there instead and drive home in the morning when they're sober. So that's where a lot of the cars were. I reached my ride's car around 1 in.the.morning back on the pavement, and I was never passed by a car on the dirt road or saw a car on my walk to my ride. No headlights, nothing.
This is where Kiely's car was parked. According to Jane Doe number 2, she says that no cars had left between 12:30 and 1 a.m.
And I was never passed by a car on the dirt.
So if that's true that no cars left around that time, then maybe all this was before the text message went out to the mother at 11:30, and that these sightings of her at the party past then, which are all coming from the friends close to Sammy, could be lies.
Road or saw a car on my walk to my ride. No headlights, nothing.
According to Jane Doe number 2, there was a blockage at the Y intersection, which would have prevented Kiely from exiting the party. Remember at 12:36 when Sammy said Kiely had called her?
She was meant to be my ride home, but I knew she was too intoxicated to get me home. So I said, hey, I found another ride home. Like, I hope you stay safe. Like,
Sammy had already left. In the background of her phone call with Kiely, she said she heard voices from the party, suggesting that Kiely was not in a car yet, but still at the parking lot. All of this suggests that perhaps Kiely was alive at 1 a.m.
This interview told us that.
See, all this suggests, coming from somebody who doesn't show their face or their voice, that she was alive around 1 a.m. And again, in the beginning of the stream, we showed stuff where Elsa has said, I saw her at midnight. I saw her at 12:30. We have law enforcement saying that her friends said that she was saying that she wanted to go home shortly after midnight. But yet, if all these sightings of her are at 12 to 1 a.m. and it's coming from that small group of girls, then that doesn't lead me to think that she was alive until 1 a.m. Are you guys on the same boat, or do you understand what I'm saying pretty much? Like that 11:30 text message to the mother is in question, in my opinion, because if all these sightings of Elsa or of Kiely after that point are coming from Elsa or that small group of friends, It's questionable, and it's placing Kiely at the party and alive around midnight to 1 a.m. But I'm not buying it. I don't believe these people 100%.
A few things that we didn't know. One, it told us that she told somebody at that party, she told Jane Doe. Two, that she had a ride. And then we also learned from Jane Doe 2 that she was alive at 1 a.m., much further past the time that many of us thought she was already at the bottom of that lake.
Is it possible that maybe someone offered
Do you need a hair miracle? Whole blends, miracle nectar, fight breakage, and split ends. Magic for damaged hair.
Kiely a ride in her own car because she was too intoxicated to drive herself?
Odd for me to hear that she stated she had a ride, which leaves me to question who was her ride. You know, we know Sammy got another ride by somebody. Was she supposed to go with Sammy and Sammy actually literally left her? Or, you know, was she just trying to blow her off so she didn't know? Because it seems to me like if she was that intoxicated and didn't have a ride and she was planning on sleeping there and sleeping it off, you would think that that would have been her response, not that I have a ride and then walk in the direction of the car.
Yeah, I'm not buying this whole I have a ride thing. I'm not buying it one bit. Do you guys believe it? I don't think Kiely told anybody that she had a ride, let alone somebody who's going to come out with no face and no voice and say like, yep, she said that she had a ride, but it was dark and I didn't see her again. Like, what? And I seen somebody said that she thinks something happened to Kiely right when the phone gets shut off. And that's definitely possible. I'm just thinking if that wasn't the mother, or if that wasn't Kiely texting the mother, then something happened to her earlier on. And it looks like people are saying nope.
Something that stuck out to me was when Jane Doe number 2 mentioned her suspicions on this not being a drunk car accident.
I don't believe that this could have been a drunk accident. Sanctuary Road can be impossible to drive on, especially with how intoxicated she seemed when I talked to her.
And then I went to a photo that kind of had where the car came out and kind of went right into the water. And I looked at that and I was wondering, did that look natural or did it look like something more intentional? And quite frankly, I can't tell you one way or the other whether it was intentional or unintentional.
Something I am curious about is, at what time did the blockage at the Y intersection disperse? Kiely's car was only found 300 yards away from the party. The main parking was at the sanctuary, but scattered about, people had parked their cars. It just seems suspicious.
And, you know, I love Olivia's job that she did with editing all this and the visuals. And I definitely like the breakdown that they did with the information they were given, you know, like Blowhorn Betty and Olivia. I think JLR says something in this video too. They are given this information and they're just taking it in and breaking it down like all of us, you know? So I think that they did a great job in what they were doing in all this. But I'm just at the point where and here's the thing, this is all very, very important if this is coming from that small circle of friends. Like Olivia, this whole thing is huge. If this was actually Sammy or one of those girls that are coming forward and saying like, can you put this story out there, but I want to be hidden and I want to be anonymous, because that's just them perpetuating some narrative and spouting off this propaganda of this is how it went. We heard from Nick Wren from AWP that the car's rear was facing the opposite way. So here it has it facing the road or the path. It actually, according to Nick, the diver who was there, it was opposite. So that I just wanted to point out to you guys too. I know that Doug said that it was placed there that way, but Nick, who dove and we went through his statements, he pretty much is under the impression that when it was upside down, the rear of it was facing the lake. But regardless, I just wanted to say, like, I really appreciate them breaking this down and showing this and coming forward with this, because it's huge if this information is from that small camp, because that just is so suspicious and is even more sketchy if this is from them. What are you guys thinking?
How did no one see anything or hear anything?
What I find very bizarre is that there was 200 to 300 people at that party, and none of them have come forward to talk about what they seen, what they heard, what they think happened to her, because there's a lot of speculation and it's still unknown. And that's what baffles me. There's so many eyes and ears there, yet no one is forward saying anything. We don't know what happened late at that night into that early morning. We truly don't know. And I think these party goers are the key to determine what happened.
Kiely's car was not very far away from this party. So many unanswered questions.
It's starting to make this whole tow truck guy more real, his story more real, in my opinion, which many people know. It was the one piece of the puzzle I was putting together that didn't fit, but this interview has given me a little more clarity. That is potential that he really did see her car at a different location.
A beautiful, talented, and intelligent soul whose life was taken too soon. If you saw something, please say something.
And that's a good way to end it because, like we pointed out, we had Kiely's mother saying we don't have any stories of Kiely leaving the party or the end of the night. So here we have Jane Doe too speaking about pretty much at one point Kiely told her that she had a ride home. So I really hope that that information was passed on, and maybe the clip where the mother is saying that she didn't have any stories of the end of the night, maybe that is just outdated information and concept when they were looking for her as a missing person. She had said that. So it's just questionable, I guess, that this person is coming out saying that they had that information about her saying that she had a ride or whatever. I just hope that if it's accurate, that was passed on. And I know that they'll say, yeah, they talked to, both Jane Does talked to law enforcement. It's like more hearsay. I just hope, Anyway, so let me just go through the stuff before we conclude. And here, the 11:30 text, we don't know 100% if it was from Kiely. Regardless of what the mother's opinion is, we don't know if it was Kiely. Elsa, first statement, said that she saw her at midnight and then changes it. Sammy here says 12:25 saw Kiely. So after midnight, after the text message, thus far, we only have people seeing Kiely at the party from Sammy and Elsa, who are best friends. So Elsa posted her Be Real hours after Kiely was reported missing on the 6th. Very strange. 12 a.m. changes it by the time Amanda S. Vita reaches out to Elsa. She changes her time and says that she was misquoted. And then remember this, who are the friends that Kiely supposedly told that told law enforcement that she wanted to go home? We have, it's as plural. Was it Sammy and Elsa?
Shortly after midnight, she had verbally communicated to her friends that she was wanting to go home.
Detectives say the last time her cell phone pinged was 33 minutes past midnight.
Now we have the apps, the location having her at 12:03, and then Snapchat had her location at 12:30, and that was the last time her phone had location through apps. And as you know, her phone was, according to law enforcement, shut off.
Is there any way to track her phone?
Her phone has actually been turned off shortly after 12:30 a.m. Saturday morning, and it has been off this whole time. Any more questions?
I asked her to wake me up when she got home, like she always does, and she said, okay, and thanks, Mama, love you. And that's the last I ever heard from her. Stories about the beginning of the night and the middle of the night, but we don't really have, there are no stories about her leaving, when she left, or who she left with. There's no stories of her car leaving.
So pretty much I just wanted to raise awareness to the fact that if the only people to have seen Kiely at this party after midnight are Elsa and, you know, that little clan of girls, then I highly doubt that that was even Kiely texting her mother at 11:30. Because if the only people who are seeing her alive and well, even though she's intoxicated, are that group of girls, then that to me isn't reliable information. And if Elsa is Jane Doe too, then she has changed her time of seeing Kiely 3 times. Even changing it 2 times to me is suspicious. You know, stories just stay the same. They shouldn't really change. So that's where I'm at right now, guys. I find it strange that the mother's claiming they had no stories at the middle or the end of the night or her leaving. But then we have Jane Doe saying that she spoke with her and she was intoxicated, but she had said she had a ride home. I just am under the impression that if something happened to Kiely, that it happened before that text message might have even went to the mother. Are you guys following me today? I hope I was making some sense because that's pretty much all I had to say. And yeah, I just appreciate you guys listening to me. Yeah, I'm afraid of that too. Bree says, I'm afraid they're going to rule it inconclusive and it will remain an open case. Any DNA fingerprints would have been lost in the water. Well, that's the thing is CSI expert Ed Wallace on Duty Ron pretty much has said over and over that fingerprints can and they have been pulled from wet surfaces. And we did a live stream a couple weeks ago where I showed a video of a law enforcement doing that. Like he shows us the process. It's really interesting. But either way, you bring up a good point because they got rid of the driver's side window when they flipped the vehicle. So although you can pull fingerprints from wet things that end up being dried out, we are lacking a whole thing that could have had fingerprints on it, which is that driver's side window, because of the way that they decided to take the car out, unfortunately. And thank you so much for the super chat. Boys with Sammy Instagram suggests they hosted fights. The fights is just an interesting aspect to all this, and it's really troubling too because there's a whole theory that this was a hazing gone wrong. Hi Bobby Pin, good morning, and hello Mia More, good to see you. There's this whole theory, which is a valid theory, that there's like a hazing going on, and if you're a senior you got to take part and blah 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 blah. So, you know, was the fighting something like that, and was there a bad outcome and they're hiding it? I don't know. It just adds a very interesting element to this whole thing. Anything else, guys? Yeah, they did. They literally tampered with evidence when they flipped the car. Not only the car is evidence, and obviously that window driver's side that got broken, but that risked the possibility of tampering or damaging the body in the back. You know, Kiely, that we need all that to be in one piece as much as possible because it's already going to be a hard examination. Well, I'm sure it was. I hope that they got an independent coroner or medical examiner or something, you know what I mean? Like the family as well. Like I think that it would have been a good idea to get 2 opinions. Yeah, it does reek of BS from Sammy, Elsa, BS plain for me to see. I agree. Not to mention they touch the steering wheel, gear shift. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, CDT, are you going live? If you guys are interested in carrying this kind of chat together, CDT is a good channel too, where we do good brainstorming over there. And I know you guys already follow her, a lot of you, but if anyone's new listening, I think law enforcement wanted so badly to rule it an accident. I do too. I mean, look at the way they treat the scene. They definitely treated the scene. Oh, wow, there she was. All right, let's get this stuff out of here. Okay, CDT's going live at 12 p.m. Yeah, making the thumbnail, you guys, as subscribers, don't understand the struggle. Like, we got to come up with something good, you know? It takes a lot of creativity, so you always do a good job, CDT. So don't worry about the thumbnail too much. And thank you guys for being here. We will talk very soon. That's all I have for you. So enjoy your day, and I'll see you guys in CDT's chat later. Bye.